Arvell Reese had one of the sneaky good combines. He is physical, he is fast, but he's just an all-around safety. There's no great quarterbacks on the list though. I mean, he was phenomenal. He manhandled the defensive line of Indiana basically in the national championship game. Welcome into the show, everybody, and we have a special one. I have never done any NFL content on the show. It is all college football. I've done strictly college football. It's Wyatt Zang's college football show. But I'm going to be doing my 2026 NFL mock draft 1.0. The reason I'm doing my mock draft is because I feel like it has to pertain with college football. I've covered college football now through last season, so it's been 6-8 months, and I've covered it. And I think I know these players well enough to give my own mock draft. So this is coming from a college football analyst, I guess you could say. I'm giving my own thoughts on what these NFL teams need and what's the fit. A lot of this is fit. It's not just, oh, Mendoza's the best and this guy's the worst. It's all fit. So we're going 1 to 32 in that order. I'm ready for this mock draft to get underway. Make sure you guys are subscribed to the channel and like the video. Get down in the live chat as well. All right. Number 1 on the board is the Raiders. They are up first. This one's pretty self-explanatory. Like, there's no talking about this one. It's number 1 to the Raiders is Fernando Mendoza. He's the number 1 quarterback in the class. He's the number 1 player in the class, in my opinion. I don't see a reason that the Raiders wouldn't take him. Like, Tom Brady's the owner there. He loves Mendoza. The Raiders organization loves Mendoza. Like I said, I don't see a reason to not take him. So Mendoza at number 1 to the Raiders. He's got an insane skill set. He's amazing at accuracy. He knows where to place the football. He's so good at accuracy. That's one of the things that I'm super high on when it comes to Mendoza, is he is insanely accurate. And that's what the Raiders need, because they have guys like Ashton Genty, Brock Bowers at the tight end slot. They just need a quarterback that can get them to the next level. And that's what Fernando Mendoza can do. All right. Number 2 is the New York Jets. New York Jets are on the clock now. This one, I went back and forth because the Jets need a quarterback. I understand that. You could look at Trinidad Chambliss, Ty Simpson, but I didn't think that any of those quarterbacks besides Mendoza were worthy of a top 10 pick. I just didn't feel that they were worthy of top pick. So I did go David Bailey for the Jets. He's an edge rusher from Texas Tech. This guy was phenomenal in college. I took him here because when you look at what he did at Texas Tech, he was one of the many leaders on that Texas Tech defense. That was one of the best defenses in college football, if not the best defense in college football, other than Ohio State this past year. He gets pressure on the quarterback, number 1, and that's what the Jets need. Get pressure on opposing quarterbacks, because they're starting to build out their offense like they have Breece Hall, they have Garrett Wilson. They just need a quarterback and build their defense. I don't think a quarterback is coming in this draft class. So Aaron Glenn, the head coach of the Jets, is going to have to stick it out another year with, we don't know at who the quarterback's going to be yet, but David Bailey as the second pick, bolster their defense, and I just like him there. All right, number 3 is the Arizona Cardinals. Arizona Cardinals are on the clock, and I have them taking one of the Ohio State linebackers, and it is Arvell Reese. Arvell Reese had one of the sneaky good combines. Like, when a lot of people look at combine performances, Sonny Styles comes to mind. Even Caleb Downs. I'm can't remember whether Caleb Downs even went to the combine. But like, when you think of Ohio State defensive players, you think of Sonny Styles, Caleb Downs, and all these. Even in the draft, you can talk about Ruben Bain, or you can talk about Cassius Howe. But this guy just stands out to me. There's something about Arvell Reese that just makes me like him here at number 3. He's Ohio State linebacker, like I said. He kind of gives you like a Micah Parsons vibe. So him coming in at the Cardinals at number 3 pick would be perfect in my opinion. Like I said, he had a phenomenal combine. Got overshadowed by Sonny Styles, who had an excellent combine, ran like a 4.4. But I got to give it to Arvell Reese. He had a phenomenal combine, and he is going to the Cardinals in my mock draft here. All right, number 4 is the Tennessee Titans. I look at them, new head coach Robert Saleh. You would think defense. Like, when you think Robert Saleh, you think defense. And that makes sense because he's a defensive guy. He's defensive coordinator for the 49ers. He's, been around. But when I look at the Titans, I don't think defense is, I mean, defense is in need. I mean, everyone needs a defensive position. Even the Eagles could improve on their defense. But I see an offensive player that's even too good to not pick, and it's Jeremiah Love. Jeremiah Love is my number 4 player taken at the Titans. I think when you look at Jeremiah Love, you see somebody that just has a ton of potential. Like, he's phenomenal. He's a phenomenal player. I look at him and I see like almost like a Saquon Barkley type running back. He's a very explosive player. And when you look at him, like what he did at Notre Dame in college, he was a well above 1,000-yard rusher this year. He was a Heisman finalist. He was a finalist in this year's Heisman, one of the 4. He's just a playmaker. He can catch. He can run. He could just do it all. So I like Jeremiah Love at the 4 spot. All right, number 5 to round out our top 5 here. Number 5 is the Giants, and I have them taking a Utah offensive tackle, Spencer Fanu. I think that when you look at him, he's, in my opinion, the best offensive lineman in the draft. He's a big, big lineman. He pushes guys around at Utah. There was times where you would watch him and you would think, wow, that guy's ready to be in the NFL right now. And when he was there, like I said, he dominated. There was no doubt about it. He absolutely dominated. So I like Spencer Fanu going to the Giants to protect Jackson Dart, give Cam Skattebo a lane to run through. Just free up Cam Skattebo, give Jackson Dart the chance to get the ball to Malik Neighbors, to his weapons on the outside. I mean, you could easily argue a wide receiver here. You could argue Jeremiah Love if the Titans don't take him. But I think Spencer Fanu giving them a better offensive line just makes sense in my opinion. All right, number 6 is the Browns. The Browns are coming in, and they have 2 picks in the first round, so they will be able to get 2 top players. This pick I see as Carnell Tate, the Ohio State wide receiver. I see him as my number 1 wide receiver. He's an explosive deep threat. That is what I like about Carnell Tate, is he's not only just a good receiver who catches the ball and runs good routes, he's a deep threat, man. If you can get him down the field and give Shedeur Sanders, who's probably going to be the quarterback this year, you can free him up and give him that number 1 wide receiver type player. I mean, they have Jerry Jeudy. I don't know if Jerry Jeudy's still there. I don't know what the situation is there, but they don't have a number 1. Like, they have some 2s, maybe some 3 guys. They don't have a number 1. I think that Carnell Tate can be a day 1 number 1. See what I did there? Day 1 number 1. That was not planned, but he's my number 1 wide receiver off the board to the Browns at number 6. All right, number 7 is the Commanders. The Commanders, I have taking Sonny Styles, the other Ohio State linebacker. I love what Sonny Styles did at the Combine. He ran like a 4.4 40. The guy is a phenomenal player. Sonny Styles was one of the best prospects that improved through the Combine. Now, I got to say, it is the Combine, so it's like, what's he like in real life? What's he like in game time? I can tell you one thing's for sure, he is phenomenal in game time. There is not a big difference between his performance in the Combine and what he's going to be in real life. Like, what he was at the Combine is his real game performance. He's fast, he's physical, he's agile. He is a safety, actually. He was a safety at Ohio State, but he's now a linebacker. And I think, he's going to be insane. Similar to Arvell Reese, they have like the same measurements and weight. Very similar, but I like Sonny Styles to the Commanders to bolster that defense. All right, number 8 is the New Orleans Saints. I have the Saints taking a phenomenal player here. Phenomenal defensive player. I'll give you that right now. And it is Ruben Bain. Ruben Bain is a player that I love. He is the Miami edge rusher. When you look at him, he's just a beast. Like, he's just, his pace of play is so unbelievably fast. And you put him on the Saints, taking over for Cam Jordan, you know what I mean? Cam Jordan was a phenomenal defensive lineman at the Saints. He's taking over for Cam Jordan. He's going to be that, staple all-pro edge rusher. I know he can be, and I know he will be at this point. I can't tell you for sure, but in my opinion, I think he's going to be an all-pro. So Ruben Bain to the Saints at number 8 is going to give them a phenomenal defensive player. All right, number 9 is the Kansas City Chiefs. Chiefs are coming off of a disappointing year, I have to say. but they are in a prime position to get a piece to their team that could, bring them from not a great year to a Super Bowl. So when I look at the Chiefs at 9, I see a lot of good players left on the board. So I'm going to give the Chiefs Caleb Downs, the Ohio State safety. This is my third Ohio State player off the board. I like Caleb Downs because number one, he is physical, he is fast, but he's just an all-around safety. Like he will drop back in coverage and he will lock you down, or he'll go up and be run support, run stop. Like he's made tackles just going between the tackles and going through lanes and getting the running back, getting the quarterback. Like he's just a phenomenal player. He's almost like a hybrid DB. Like he can do whatever you ask him to do. He's a leader on defense. He's a playmaker. So I love him at that spot at the number 9 position. All right, number 10 is the Cincinnati Bengals. This is a team that is very, very underwhelming the last, basically since they've had that Super Bowl run, they've been very underwhelming. And it's been interesting because it's like they have the offensive pieces, like they have Jamar Chase, they have T. Higgins, and you're sitting there thinking, man, they're one thing away. They are one solid defense away from a good team. Joe Burrow, T. Higgins, Jamar Chase, that Chase Brown on the running back slot, that is a good enough team. They just need to get a better defense. So give me them Cassius Howe. I think Cassius Howe, he's the Texas A&M edge. I think he's going to be kind of the missing piece to take over for Trey Hendrickson. Now, Trey Hendrickson is gone. He's gone to the Ravens, how that whole ordeal went down. But I got to say, Cassius Howe has high potential, number one. He was really good at Texas A&M. He had phenomenal stats. And then when you look at him, just his future in the NFL, all right, so Cassius Howe to the Bengals at number 10. All right, number 11, the Dolphins are on the clock. I like them getting a offensive weapon. So I look at the Dolphins and I see Jalen Waddle going to Denver. I see Tyreek Hill getting older. So there's a lot of things in play here for the Dolphins. If you see where I'm going here, I'm going to give them the second best wide receiver on the board, in my opinion, and that is Mekhi Lemon. He's from USC. He's a wide receiver there. Like I said, with Waddle gone and Hill getting older, we don't even know what Hill's going to be since he had that injury this past year to his Achilles. We don't know what he's going to be. So they must have to go wide receiver at this point. You can't justify it. I mean, you could justify a quarterback. There's no great quarterbacks on the list, though. So just honestly go with Quinn Ewers for a year and just get weapons. And then whenever you get a good quarterback, he's not on a team with an old Tyreek Hill and nobody else. So give me Mekhi Lemon at 11 to the Dolphins. All right, number 12 is the Dallas Cowboys. Dallas Cowboys would have been perfect for Caleb Downs, but Caleb Downs is not on the board. So I'm going to go ahead and give them the best corner, in my opinion, on the board, and that is Mansour Delane. He's the LSU corner. Other than Caleb Downs, I think he's the best DB on the board. Dallas defense was bad in 2025. That's all I can say. Their offense was pretty good, but their defense was bad. This is exactly what they need to get better on defense. Number one, Trayvon Diggs is gone. He is not coming back. I think he's signed with the Cowboys, I'm pretty sure. So you need to backfill the corner position. You have Deron Bland, but behind him, you don't really have anybody. So you want another lockdown corner on the other side. So give me Mansour Delane to the Cowboys at number 12. All right, number 13 is the Rams. They're now on the clock. The Rams could go a couple different ways. The Rams could go defense. The Rams could go, offensive skill position. When I look at them, I see a wide receiver room with Nakua, who's young. He's going to be there for a long time. Devontae Adams, he's a little bit older, but he's a great wide receiver too. Phenomenal. He's wide receiver 1 on most teams. So I see a running back slot filled with Kyren Williams. I see quarterback slot filled right now. I see wide receiver slot filled right now. O-line's not bad. You can make an argument for an O-lineman. But give me Kenyon Sadiq to the Rams. He's the Oregon tight end. This guy is so good. When you look at what he did at Oregon, not just from a pass catching perspective, but he's more than just a pass catcher. He's also a blocker. He gets down in the trenches and he'll block. And he's phenomenal at it. I tell you what, when you look at his size, when you see him, you think, all right, he's kind of like a bigger version of a shorter version, but a bigger version of Kyle Pitts. He can go play any position. He can go out wide, but he can also come in and block. When I look at just his skill set and what he brings to the table to the Rams, phenomenal. I don't see anyone else on this board that would fit the Rams more perfectly, honestly. All right, number 14. Yeah, we're all the way up to 14. We're almost halfway. I have the Ravens on the clock here. Give me Francis Mauigoa to the Ravens. He's the Miami offensive tackle. He was just phenomenal. Phenomenal. I have him as my second offensive line taken. Yes, I have him as my second offensive line taken. It's warranted. Like, when you look at him in college, he was similar to Spencer Flannel. He just kind of manhandled people at this point. Like, he was so good in terms of just getting down in the trenches and just, pass blocking was phenomenal, I got to say. And even run blocking. Mark Fletcher had lanes to go through. And I just think Francis Mauigoa to the Ravens makes up for the loss of Tyler Linderbaum. I know Linderbaum is a center and Mauigoa is a tackle, but I just don't think that the Ravens have a all-pro tackle. I just feel like that he would fit perfectly there. You could disagree with me in the comments, but let me know what you think the Ravens would take. Protect Lamar Jackson. Like I said, he should be good there. All right, number 15 is the Buccaneers. They are on the clock. Who do I have the Buccaneers taking? Well, I look at a guy like Keldrick Falk. That's where I have him taken. But I look at him, and I see just a guy that can go out and just be elite. Be elite at the edge position. Keldrick Falk is an edge from Auburn, but you look at his skill set and what he can bring to the table to Tampa Bay. He's an all-around player. He's athletic, number one, and like I said, he's a playmaker. So he can get to the quarterback, and Tampa Bay needs the guy on defense because their offense with Baker Mayfield and Chris Godwin isn't the worst thing in the world. Now, yes, Mike Evans is gone, so you could argue a wide receiver. And you know what? If I do a 2.0 mock draft, I might even do a wide receiver. But I like Kendrick Falk there right now. Number 16 is the Jets. What do I have the Jets taking, or who do I have the Jets taking? It's another Miami player. It's on the defensive side of the ball this time. It is Hakeem Mesidor. He's the Miami defensive lineman, second best aside from Ruben Bain on that Miami defensive line. He was phenomenal. He ate people's lunch in the national championship game. He manhandled the defensive line of Indiana basically in the national championship game. That's the word I'm trying to go for here. Is just he just dominated. That's the only thing I can say is he dominated. This guy is massive. He can get pressure on opposing QBs. Sorry, Indiana's O-line. I did not mean D. I said D-line. I meant O-line. But he can get pressure on opposing quarterbacks. Now, my second pick, I had the Jets taking David Bailey in the beginning. So you might be thinking, all right, so you have the Jets taking an edge and a defensive lineman. You are correct, because I don't see Quinnen Williams, number one, is gone. So this is replacing Quinnen Williams. And then I also see a need for another defensive lineman, or another edge rusher, which is what David Bailey would be. So give me those two guys to the Jets. Number 17, or a little over halfway, give me the Lions taking TJ Parker. He is the Clemson linebacker / edge. I guess he's more of an edge. But when you pair him with Aiden Hutchinson, and that's what I'm trying to do here. I'm trying to find fit. What's a fit and what's a pair? You pair him with Aiden Hutchinson on this side, and TJ Parker on the other side. That is scary for opposing quarterbacks. Like, an opposing quarterback's worst nightmare is seeing TJ Parker on this side and Aiden Hutchinson on this side and thinking, wow, if something goes wrong here, I don't have anywhere to go. I don't got anywhere to go. Up the middle, maybe. Maybe I can go up the middle. But then you run into Jack Campbell at linebacker. This Lions defense looks pretty good. So give me TJ Parker to the Lions to pair up with Aiden Hutchinson. Number 18 is the Vikings. The Vikings are interesting here. I'm very interested on what the Vikings are going to do. But as of my mock draft, I have the Vikings taking a lockdown DB. It's a must to have a lockdown DB. Give me Jermod McCoy, the Tennessee defensive back. He's a corner. He is really good. I mean, he is really good at Tennessee. He was phenomenal. I think he's going to come and be a scheme fit for the Vikings, but just an athletic corner. Like, he's just athletic. He's similar to Caleb Downs. He doesn't get involved in the run game like Caleb Downs does because he's a corner, but man, he's he athletic. Goes out and gets the ball. Like, I just love the Vikings. Harrison Smith getting older. They just need that top corner. And they have, I think, is it Byron Murphy that is on the Vikings? I can't remember if he's on the Vikings still or not. But they need another top corner, and Jermon McCoy fits that perfectly. All right, we got number 19. Number 19 is an interesting one. It's the Panthers. Who do I have the Panthers taking? I have them taking the Penn State offensive guard. I'm not sure how to pronounce his name, but we'll just call him Viga Ione. He is the number one guard on the board. I could pronounce his name for you listening on podcast. It is Olaivega. So try pronouncing that. I have no idea. We'll call him Viga Ione for now. But I mean, he dominated at Penn State, especially that UCLA game. Like, there's a lot of film from the UCLA game in here, and he just dominated, man. He threw those guys around. There was one play that I was preparing for this mock draft, and I was looking at highlights from this guy. And there was one play where he took the UCLA defensive lineman, basically threw him out of the way, and just walked away like it was nothing. He's a very strong guy. He's massive. He's 6'4", 328. Like, is that not what you want for an offensive lineman, especially at the guard position? I honestly think that the Ravens taking him would have been smart. If I could switch, I feel like maybe the Ravens would take him, but I'm good with what I got right now. All right, Dallas. Dallas is on the clock at number 20, and I have Dallas taking Peter Woods. He is actually my second Clemson player taken. He's the Clemson defensive lineman. Dallas's first pick I had was Mansour Delane. He was the corner taking over for Trayvon Diggs. Now I have a defensive lineman taking over for Micah Parsons. I think that this fits perfect. You pair him with Quinnen Williams, number one. I think that's an awesome pair. So those two together should work really well. He's, like I said, backfilling for Micah Parsons. So I like Peter Woods at the number 20 spot. All right, number 21 is the Pittsburgh Steelers. They're on the clock. This one's an interesting one for more reasons than one. The Steelers are a team that when you look at them, you see they need a quarterback. Like, they have Aaron Rodgers, but you don't know exactly what Aaron Rodgers is going to be there. Like, how long is he going to be there, and what is he going to be this year? Maybe he doesn't do as well throughout the start of the season. So most likely 10 out of 10 times, or 9 out of 10 times, they're taking a quarterback here. Question is, what quarterback? I narrowed it down to either Trinidad Chambliss or Ty Simpson. I ended up going with Ty Simpson because I feel like what I've heard from the Steelers and what I've seen in terms of fit, Ty Simpson fits there. So give me, I said Trinidad Chambliss, not Trinidad Chambliss. He's in college. I meant Ty Simpson, or who was the other quarterback? I can't remember the other quarterback. I had it written down, but I can't remember the other quarterback I was thinking of. It wasn't Trinidad Chambliss. He's still in college. But Ty Simpson is the guy I ended up going with. The reason is, like I said, he's a fit, but he has potential. A lot of people don't realize that he doesn't only, yes, he wasn't the best guy at Alabama. Yes, he was kind of underwhelming this past year. But you saw flashes, like in the Georgia game. You saw flashes of a quarterback that could be phenomenal. But then you saw lows, like the Florida State game, and you're like, man, we don't know here. We can't make an observation. Well, I'm making an observation. I think he's got potential. I thought about some different quarterbacks here. I just couldn't make an argument for other guys over Ty Simpson. Like I said, for some reason I was thinking Trinidad Chambliss. It was like he's not even in college anymore. That was a brain check right there. All right, number 22 is the LA Chargers. Avion Terrell is who I have them taking. I think it's Avion Terrell, sorry. Clemson corner. He's the cornerback for Clemson. He's the third Clemson player, which is pretty remarkable that this Clemson team went like 7-6 and still managed to send 3 guys in the first round in my mock draft. Again, Asante Samuel is no longer at the Chargers. He's gone. So you kind of need to backfill the quarter position, and I think that Avion Terrell is kind of the perfect guy to backfill for them. So give me Avion Terrell to pair with Derwin James in the DB spot. And moving on to number 23 is the Philadelphia Eagles. Philadelphia Eagles, it's tough because they don't really need defense. You look at their defense, and their defense is perfectly fine right now. So they don't need defense. Let's cross off defense as of right now. So when I look at offense, I see, running back is filled with Saquon Barkley. Quarterback is filled with Jalen Hurts. Tight end is filled with Dallas Goedert. Offensive line is phenomenal. So when I look at them, the only question is wide receiver. They have A.J. Brown and Devontae Smith. Rumors of A.J. Brown leaving. So I don't quite know if they're going to have a second wide receiver. So with that being said, pair Casey Concepcion with Devontae Smith, and that is who I have them taking. Casey Concepcion is the Texas A&M wide receiver. I think that he fits perfect with Jalen Hurts in this offense. Kind of a similar A.J. Brown type. Now, he's not as big as A.J. Brown, but he's similar. He kind of seems a little similar. So give me the Eagles taking Casey Concepcion. He's another weapon for Jalen Hurts. Like I said, A.J. Brown looks to move on soon, so he should backfill nicely. All right, Cleveland Browns are on the clock. Cleveland Browns get their second pick of the first round. My first pick, I have them taking Carnell Tate. I think that was at the 6th spot, I'm pretty sure. So they're now, again, on the 24th spot on the clock. Give me the Browns taking Monroe Freeling. He is the Georgia offensive tackle. The reason I have them taking him is because I think that he is the third best guard on my board, or tackle on my board. And you look at what he did at Georgia. And it's Georgia, man. Georgia's known for having some good offensive linemen. But I really like his skill set and his size. He's a big guy. He's a beast, man. And also, you look at the Browns on their side of the coin. Is they lost almost all, I think they might have even lost all 5 starting offensive linemen. So their whole line in front of Shedeur Sanders is completely gone. And we've seen Shedeur with no offensive line at Colorado, and it was not pretty. So we need to start filling. Honestly, you could make an argument for an offensive lineman at their first pick and just go O-line twice. You could totally make that argument. But I think if you give Shedeur a solid offensive tackle and a good wide receiver in Carnell Tate, you've got a recipe for success. Not playoff, but you've got a recipe for success there. So give me Monroe Freeling at the number 24 spot to the Browns. Number 25 is the Chicago Bears. Chicago Bears are an interesting one here. I have them taking Colton Hood. He's the corner from Colorado. I think he's got potential. He's not the most phenomenal corner on the board. He's not number 1, but I'm pretty sure he's my 3rd corner taken, 3rd or 4th. No, I think he's my 4th corner taken. You look at him and you see potential. This Colorado team, they did well with him in terms of defensive back. He's just kind of bolstering their defense for the Bears behind Caleb Williams, so he doesn't have to rely on that offense a lot. Now, I look at him and I see potential. I haven't seen a ton of proven. I haven't, researched him enough, so I haven't seen him a lot in play. I've watched a little bit of Colton Hood, but I haven't seen a ton of him like I've seen Mansour Delane or Caleb Downs. But I still like him. I still like him to the Bears. All right, number 26. Getting down to the last 7 picks here. Number 26 is the Bills, and I have them taking Jordan Tyson. Jordan Tyson is a wide receiver from Arizona State. He's a phenomenal wide receiver, but the reason I have the Bills taking him is because the Bills just don't have a receiver, man. They have struggled at that position for a long time. Keon Coleman, it seems like there's been some things that have been... There's been some rumors that Keon Coleman's not going to be there very much longer. Some things that lead me to believe that, at least. Now, they did bring in DJ Moore from the Bears, so you can make an argument that, hey, they're fine. They got DJ Moore, they got, Shakir at the other wide receiver slot. Keon Coleman, maybe, we'll see. But I don't know if DJ Moore's going to fully get them to the Super Bowl. I think Jordan Tyson and DJ Moore could get them to a Super Bowl. So give me Jordan Tyson to the Bills. Should give Allen more weapons. All right, Number 27 for the 49ers. This is another offensive lineman. It's an offensive tackle. Give me Caden Proctor from Alabama. The reason I have him here is because Trent Williams is getting a little bit older. He's the 49ers all-pro, probably all Hall of Fame offensive tackle, and he's getting older. I don't know if he's going to be there very much longer. So give me Caden Proctor to kind of take over for Trent Williams. Now, he's a monster, man. Caden Proctor is really big. He's a monster. Rumors of he was going to go to Iowa, but he came back to Alabama for another year, and it just bolstered his draft stock, in my opinion. I think his size is phenomenal. Like I said, I'm pretty sure he's 6'6". I don't have it written down, and he's over 300 pounds. So give me Caden Proctor taking over for Trent Williams at the 49ers. As for number 28, it's the Texans. As for the Texans, I have them taking actually another offensive lineman. It is the Oregon offensive guard, Emmanuel Pregnon. He was great at Oregon. Kind of did similar to what, Viga Ione did at Penn State. Kind of just push guys around. Kind of own the line of scrimmage. I really do want to see what he can do in terms of protecting C.J. Stroud. Man, C.J. Stroud needs protection. I think he's going to get it with Emmanuel Pregnon. Laramie Tunsil is gone. Now, I know Pregnon's an offensive guard, but I still like him coming in as just another lineman to add. Again, protect Stroud. That's the goal there. Protect Stroud. Don't get him killed. And maybe you guys can be back in the playoffs again. But we'll see. Number 29 is the Kansas City Chiefs on the clock again. I'm not exactly sure who this pick is from, but they're on the clock again. And with their first pick, they took Caleb Downs. Now, with their second pick in the first round at number 29, I have them taking Denzel Boston. He's the Washington wide receiver. At this point, just add to Patrick Mahomes' offense. Give Andy Reid and Mahomes another weapon to play with. You got Xavier Worthy. Rashee Rice. You're going to have Denzel Boston. That's a great group of 3 wide receivers. They're bringing in Kenneth Walker at the running back slot. So you have a very good offense if you get Denzel Boston. And then you give Caleb Downs on your defense. That is just an excellent, excellent duo in terms of offense and defense in the draft at your first 2 first-round picks. So give me Denzel Boston to the Chiefs at number 29. All right, number 30 is who do I have here? Who's number 30? I actually don't have written down who is drafting at number 30. That is weird. I'm pretty sure that I actually don't know who it is. That's funny. But whoever's number 30, it's on the screen, and that is Caleb Lomu is going to this team. He's phenomenal. He's a great offensive lineman. He's the Utah offensive tackle. I think he fits perfect at the 30 slot. Oh, this is the Dolphins. Yeah. Sorry, this is the Dolphins. I don't know why I didn't write down who it was. I was like, who is drafting at number 30? But yeah, it's the Dolphins. I really do like here. My light just turned off, but I really do like him going to this team to kind of just give them another, just offensive lineman that should be really good. Should be really good for them to protect the quarterback there and just help that offensive line out. All right, number 31 is the New England Patriots. For the New England Patriots, I have them taking Zion Young. He's the edge rusher from Missouri. I really, really like him. He was really good at Missouri. He gets pressure on opposing quarterbacks, and that should help Drake May in that offense a lot. Bolster their defense, like I said. I could have gone with a wide receiver here, but I just at the end of the day, I wanted to get a better defensive player for them. So give me Zion Young to the Patriots at number 31. And then to round out the draft, this is it. So the last pick in my mock draft. To round it out, give me at number 32 the Seahawks taking D'Angelo Pons, former Super Bowl Super Bowl champions, are taking a corner from Indiana, D'Angelo Pons. To pair him with Devon Witherspoon would be phenomenal. That's why I like him here, because he pairs perfectly with Devon Witherspoon. He's awesome at Indiana. He was phenomenal in that championship run. So give me him to the Seahawks at number 32. That is my full mock draft. Mock Draft 1.0 is out. There you go. That's what it is. Let me know in the comments your thoughts, whether you liked it, disliked it, just let me know what your like top 5 picks would be, or let me know what certain teams would pick, if what you would do different. Who would you not have in the first round, and who would you have in the first round? So that's my mock draft 1.0. Make sure you guys subscribe to the channel, like the video, get in the live chat, comment down below. If you're not watching it live, get in the comments down below. Make sure you follow me on Twitter at Wyatt Zang CFB. You can get all our content there in shorter forms, basically. We post shorts on there, news, whatever. It's all on Twitter. Follow me there at Wyatt Zang CFB. So I appreciate you guys for tuning in. That is the end of the show. Appreciate you guys for tuning in. We'll see you guys back here for another live show. See you guys then. It'll be a great time. We're going to jump into some college football. Get back to our specialty, college football. So we'll see you guys then. Have a great start to your week, and God bless.